All right, let's do a brief intro before we get to the games against Turds. Looking at the ones from last time, I played really badly in some ways I think are kind of interesting. So maybe worth delving into, if not for anyone else's sake, then hopefully for mine in order to play better this time around. Game one, I like what I did. I found a logic to the game. I thought I had an advantage in side to side play. I was able to build out. I had to be careful in the end game. And I don't think I necessarily chose my cards, which card to play where well, but for a 1 minute game, I have to be very happy. And I was able to follow a logical thread and hold a random that I estimated as difficult. Um, and the solver said about 2/3 of my moves were losing and a third holding against their starter, which is not like one of those like, oh my god, this is horrible situations where like 80% plus of moves lose. But on average, usually it's around a third of moves. And so to comfortably hold, or pretty comfortably hold, a 2/3 game is good. So I feel good about that game. Game number two, though. Oh my god, what a nightmare. Um, so sometimes when you have like you can't pinpoint the logic, but you're like, I just feel this is the right move. You're on. It's great, and your move is good. I don't think, and there's now a lot of record of me playing recorded. I don't think that happens a ton for me, at least not in the last few years. Maybe it did more in like '09. Like if I don't have the logical thread, I'm in trouble. One example of that I've mentioned recently, the Seto Clan League game, but some Piggy Elemental games and TTAC when he knocked me out, I think are another very good example of me just not having a grasp on things and being unable to get a hold on them. I think my losses to Addy are a little different, but maybe in a somewhat similar boat too. I'd have to rewatch, and I have not watched those videos because I don't love returning to my losses. But probably would be educational to do. That said, so my first move of the game, I was like, I don't know, I just feel I should do this, and it was a losing move. And Turds played the only winning reply, and with a bunch of appealing options, his move may look obvious and normal, and you'd be like, oh yes, that's a good move, which I was after he played it, having not seen it in advance. Um, but of all the plausible moves, and there were a few, that was the winning one. And then I was very lucky to survive. My second move was also I have no grasp on anything. Now that was a position where it was a lot harder to have a grasp on something, so I somehow feel less bad about that one, even though it was kind of an even less sensical move. But two moves where I was just like, I don't know, I feel like doing this, and both were terrible, which is very informative. I need to have some logical grasp, some idea. I can't wing it. This is not the way for me. Uh, and 1 minute may force you to wing it more than you'd like, but I gotta find something. Um, Something that's a logical thread that sort of connects ideas. I don't know if that's very clear, but I gotta try for that. And then game three was probably in some ways less bad, and game three speaks to how well Turds was playing the early game here, because I made a corner starter that he could not take without being comboed back. He could only take it from one side. And after his response, and normally that kind of starter is a pretty big advantage. After his response, I had one tie and everything else lost. My tie was in the most standard square to play in. The play was in 1 and 4, and 7 or 2 are the most common moves. I didn't really have something in 2, so 7's the most standard. Now, you'd still have to pick the right card for 7, and I don't think that was obvious at all. It certainly wasn't to me. But even looking back, like, I don't think that was obvious. But I should have at least tried to do something that was like doing something. And I threw a random card in 9 that I just didn't think would be that useful. And then I got very lucky to survive that one as well. But both of those games I should have lost. And like I was just very lucky that he had 1 minute rather than 1.5 minutes, or he would have crushed me both games. And his early game massively destroyed me. But it's not just that I think he played really well in the early game. In game two, him finding the one winning move on move three in 1 minute. In game three, him finding a move against my strong looking starter that gave me one tie and 28 losses, 27 losses. This is he's messaged me. Um all right, so he's gonna play Seto, and then we'll play our game. That gives me a little more time to babble and think about this. Oh no, that's done. Okay. So, oops, wrong window. But what I really want to do is try to maybe throw a wider net for moves and try to just generate ideas for like 20 seconds each move. Of just like have ideas, have something, not like the vague staring, like looking for something to pop out at me, but like, what do I want to do? Is there any move that does that? Okay, that's an idea. All right, let's put up. I was gonna try to practice doing this watching Vid vs. Deli yesterday, but I didn't catch it because I wasn't free at that time. So okay, we're gonna put the game up. We're gonna say best of luck, up, and hopefully we're gonna play better. This morning I played a bunch of chess to like get myself into playing a 1 minute chess to get myself into playing fast, and I was horrible at that too. And I was hoping that would be a confidence booster, and it certainly hasn't been. But I think it would be hard to be less connected than I was last time. So hopefully, this one goes a little better. I think Turdz is just clearly a better player than me right now. But hopefully I can put up a better fight than I did before. Or be able to blame it on a bad random. Because I actually think maybe my worst random was my best game. So, you know, no excuses there. All right, we have first turn. His hand. He has a lot of A's up, A down. His hand looks very up-down. So if we throw a random card in 4 or 6, that could have weird upside against what he's doing. Left, his highest is a 7. Right, his highest is an 8. So A8, 7, 3, and 7 could just be safe, and we do have recaptures if needed. Does he have a huge setup in 5 against it? Shit, I just lost track of my thinking. Okay, I think he can only set up for 4 with 7, 8, 7, 6. That doesn't set up both ways. So I think this does create problems for him. Okay, we'll try it. We have the recaptures if it turns out to be more susceptible to danger than I'm thinking. Also, our hand clearly wants to go left. I did just give up all of our right power, and he might be able to really exploit that. But it also seems like if the bottom fills up, if he say goes in 9, some move trying to take advantage of my weak right, maybe 3 is more logical. If he goes in 9 and I block 8 and he goes 6, suddenly 7-3-7A might sweep a lot. Doesn't quite sweep Quistis, but it has everything else pretty well. So hopefully this move is pressure. Hopefully I won't be dead immediately this game once again. Though seeing how he's played so far and seeing how I've played so far, very plausible. Alright, he's picked up a card. He does go in the far corner. I think that's probably best. So this challenges me because I can't take from 2. I could maybe set up, but something like A5, 6, 7 sets him up in 4 if I put that in 1. That's an idea. We have ideas. Ideas are good. Fang can take... If I go in 8, I don't cover 9. If I go in 4, I do cover 2. So maybe I should just block 4. Maybe with a card that I don't want in my hand. Maybe 6 is pleasant for him there. Maybe we have something better to do. But I'm kind of tempted to just block 4 and move on with my life. I'm going to do that. It's an idea. He does have 7, 8, 7, 6 in 1. And if I capture in 2 with 6, 2, A9, he has the same in 5. But I have other captures I can make there. I don't think I should be too upset there. One idea I had there was Fang in 5. And by had, I mean I'm just having now and pretending I had in advance. That's bad form. Shouldn't do that. Setting up both my other cards in 6. It was an idea I had to drop in 5, but I hadn't noticed I could do it in other variations. And maybe I could try something like that here if he goes in 1. 1 and 6 seem like the most natural moves to me. I only have one capture left for 6 myself, but it is the one that is harder for him to combo back. I guess he has Quistis, so he always had the combo back there. Okay, he picks up Quistis, so he's setting up Ramza 5. We, of course, have a same. But if he plays Ramza 5, don't we have Lenin 6? And he doesn't really have much counterplay there. So we go up 6-4. He takes 2 things back. He's up 6-4. We go in 6. Actually, maybe with 6-2, 6-2, A9. No, then he combos back. So probably with Len. And we flip 3 things. We're up 7-3, right? So I think we're doing pretty good there. Obviously, we've used 6-2, A9. I can't use that twice. But I think I got to take this square. Because we do have the combo back in 6. So Ramza 5 is not that great. I think he should have gone in 1 or 6, but I'm not sure. I am grasping the logic much better. I'm doing a much better job of focusing in on things. But also it's much easier when you have a better hand. I had a way better hand this game, and one that played better against his than the other games. So this still, even if I do okay this game, it's still very much I needed a lot of help to play an okay game. And that's not great. Where does he go here? Maybe 6? Maybe 6? Because both my cards in 5 have a 7 facing down. So there's some combo potential. Yeah, he does go 6. It's too good for me. All right. All right, if I go 8 and he goes 9, I win because I take back my own cards. So if I go 8, he has to go 5. And he flipped 2 cards, and I will have flipped 2 cards. Is that a win? If I put 7-3, 7A, and 8? I think that's a win. God, I did not deserve to win this, so maybe I'm just wrong. I deserve to be wrong. But he can't combo that 7. I don't know. Seems like a win. Well, if so, completely undeserved. Got very lucky here. Did do better today than I did 2 days ago, sure. But I think I had a very good hand here. Again, I really like his early game decisions. I thought going in 3 was right. I think he misplayed in 2. I think 1 or 6 would have been better. And yeah, okay. Well, I will take it, but this was a tough match for me. I don't think I'm yet properly attenuated to 1 minute. And I think I got very lucky on the random here and incredibly lucky not to lose games 2 and 3, where he very firmly. It's not just that he should have won those games, it's that he earned winning them. He played really, really well and precisely in 1 minute in a way I certainly didn't come close to equaling. So yeah, really lucky match for me. Got lucky that I could punish Ramza in 5 because I didn't have planned that I could punish this game too. Yeah, I mean, I think you could argue he played better in every single game of this match, including this one. I think the only one I have a really serious argument for having played all that well is game 1. I don't love my move in 4 here. I wonder if I had a better option. But other than that, I mostly played okay. And my move in 4 isn't bad. I think if he went 1 and maybe 6, I'm thinking if he went 6, I know his hand's very up down, so he probably shouldn't aim for a Z-type structure, but I felt my cards with no right power just would never take enough there. That if I go in 5, he can just go 2 and 9, and if I go kind of anywhere else, I can never really take his right row. So I thought maybe he had that. I don't know. I'll go say the stuff. We should probably check with the solver. That seems maybe worth doing. Yeah, obviously very happy with the win because Turdz is one of the best players, and beating him is an achievement even in 1 minute where it's a lot of luck. But he was much better than me over this match. He is a much better player than I am right now. Not competitive. I hope that it is competitive by the end of this tournament, that I'm like somewhere where I'm like, yeah, I can compete with him now. But if we played a 20-game match right now, he would absolutely stomp me, and very much deserve to. So let's put in some cards. Play a game. Just a very quick check. I only did very quick checks on the other games of like, was each move winning, tied, or losing? Not looking for better moves. All right, so I went in 7. It'll take a while to calculate that. He went 3, which is a tie. So that's a good move. I'm on low pressure there. My hand does have the advantage. I went 4, where a lot of his moves tie. So my starter was really hard for him to meet. It said about 2/3 of his moves lost first the starter. So he was under high pressure. He found a good first move. And then Quistis in 2 was not good. Yeah, because the Ram's f5 doesn't work. Yeah, and so I'm just winning after that. Yeah, I got lucky. He picked out Quistis in 2 in a position where he had kind of neutralized my advantage. You know, I went from him 2/3 of his moves losing to, after I go in 4, closer to half his moves lose. And usually, as you approach the end game, you need a higher and higher proportion of moves to lose for it to actually be pressure. Like, if half someone's moves lose on move 1, they're under some pressure. If half their moves lose on move 3, that's usually a bunch less pressure, because usually the logic of the game is clearer and it's easier to calculate to the end. So I thought he might go 7-8, 7-6, and 1, and that was losing. So my evaluation was really bad as well. I had the idea of going Fang in 5, and that was actually winning there, which I didn't realize it was winning, but I did have it on my radar. So okay, that's not so bad. But I did completely misevaluate 7-8, 7-6. And then my other idea for him was to chuck something in 5. Now, looking at it now, I don't know what he should have chucked there, but let's say Ramza. That did tie. Sorry, Ramza in 6. I meant 6. Because that going in 6 might make sense. And Ramza in 6 is a tie, but that means it's probably harder than I thought. Yeah. Everything wrong. Let's call it a video. Yeah. You find when you watch a match, like sometimes you have a strong rooting interest, but when I think someone has played better, especially when I think they've handled the early games better, I often kind of start feeling like this person should win the match. Now, sometimes it really swings around. Like, I remember there was a match, Triad Wars something maybe, between Sir Smokes and Stuff, where I thought Sir Smokes just smashed Stuff the first few games and was incredibly unlucky to not win. But then Stuff smashed Smokes the next few games after that, and he was really unlucky not to win. And at that point, I sort of thought this can go either way, and Stuff ended up winning the match. But for a while, I had become pretty clearly biased towards Smokes, because I just thought he deserved to win the match. And by the end of the match, it was clear both players had played parts of the match really, really well. And I felt much better about the result at that point. But I sort of feel that way here of like, Turdz is better than me and played better, and I got a lucky random and happened to walk into the right stuff. Okay, well, happy to win and advance to the three-way finals, where hopefully I can keep improving and playing better. That's the dream. But again, honestly, I think Turdz played the early games here really fantastically. His first moves every game were, I think, probably perfect. And by perfect, I don't just mean like non-losing. I mean like basically highest pressure possible. And I think that is really hard to do, especially in 1 minute, and speaks to how strong he is and how much stronger he is than I am.